Hey guys, it's BiggestAGFanEVer here, back again, and today I'm here to give you guys a tour of the American Girl Place, New York. So if you didn't see my Wednesday video, I just did a tour of the American Girl Place Chicago since they just renovated the upstairs, but I was also recently in New York to visit my best friend, and we decided to stop by the American Girl Place, New York. So I did a tour last year of this store, but they have added a bunch of new things because of Courtney and obviously because of Kira as well. And they also have some really cool displays in honor of their 35th anniversary. So let's go ahead and take a look at the store. Starting off, here are the outside window displays. I thought that they were really cool and detailed, and they definitely played into the whole historical aspect. Now let's go ahead and go inside the store. So right when we walk in, you can see that there is this big wall that says American Girl, and it has a bunch of photos of Kira and her collection all over it. And then right next to that is Kira's collection. So we have her platform tent, we have some other items like some of her outfits and things like that. And then there is this whole section over here for Kira. And then on the other side of their window display, they have pretty much the display mirrored so that way you can see it better on the inside as well. And then here is a better look at the section for Kira. It is definitely very vibrant, especially with the walls having lights basically inside of them. And it's also very colorful as well, and definitely seems very modern looking. And of course they have all of Kira's collection on display, so you can take a closer look at it. However, a lot of the items are under display cases. There's not too many items that are not under display cases for you to play with. They did have some items here in the middle that were not in display cases, and the iPad there was so that way they could count the capacity of how many people were in the store at the time. You could see that they also had some cleaning supplies over there as well, which shows that they are very serious about keeping the store clean, and I do have to say that the store was definitely really clean. And then here is even some more Kira stuff. They had the more condensed displays that they are trying to do at the Chicago and New York stores. And then next to that, they had the condensed display for Joss of what stuff they had left for her and her collection. And then next to that, they had these small displays that they had left for Luciana and Blair, and you can see these were the items that they still had in the store for the two of them. And then on the other wall, they had these little mini displays for the various different historical characters, where the dolls would be holding up like one of their outfits and a couple of their accessories. And then we get into the big sections for Julie and Courtney. Now, like I said, if you saw my tour of the American Girl Place Chicago, a lot of this stuff is going to look pretty similar to you guys. So like this little section here where they show off the life-sized versions of Julie's furniture. That was also at the American Girl Place Chicago. And then the big wall with the San Francisco skyline was also at the American Girl Place Chicago as well. So a lot of the inspiration for the new renovations at the AG Place Chicago did definitely come from the New York store. One difference between the two Julie sections is that the AG Place New York has the life-sized version of Julie's car to take selfies in, whereas the Chicago store did not have the room for the big car. Julie's section also had the basketball hoops as well. So now we are getting into the Courtney section, and of course, just like the AG Place Chicago, they had Courtney's closet where you could turn the wheels to mix and match the different items in her collection. And then they also had the big version of Courtney's bunk bed here as well, and on the bottom they had, of course, the doll-sized version of the bunk bed. And then they also had a massive set of TVs, which was basically identical to the one in Chicago as well. You can definitely tell once again in this section that for the renovations in Chicago, they took a lot of inspiration from what they did in New York for Courtney. Similarly to the Chicago store, I also found it interesting that they still had Courtney's jeans on display, even though they don't sell them. And I definitely loved looking around the New York store. There were also so many details there, like these lights on the ceiling that I just showed you, and then you can see the decals on the wall are also very 80s as well. And then at the AG Place New York store, they had 2 Pac-Man games there for you guys to play, and this time I got to play it. As you saw in my Chicago tour, I didn't really get to show it off too much because there were so many people around the machines, but I luckily finally got to play it here at the AG Place New York, and it was a lot of fun. And now, leaving the Courtney section, we get into the Truly Me section, and this area of the store is massive. It definitely feels very open and bright and colorful, and also very modern as well. This first little section here was a display of all of the Truly Me sports outfits, so we had some of the new outfits as well as some of the old outfits as well. Next to that, they had some of the more creative sets, such as the painting and sculpting set, the violin set, as well as the percussion and the flute set. And then they had this little section that had everything to do with pets. Including horses and the horse stable as well. And then in the middle of all that, they had the create your own little section, as well as the AG fashion show, showing off their latest mix and match collection. Then they had this little section that showed off different pieces that could be used in your dollhouse. I definitely really enjoyed the way that they laid out the different Truly Me sections because they all seemed very cohesive and like they were organized in little themes. And now let's take a look at all of the Truly Me dolls in their section. So just like the Chicago store, they have them sectioned off into different hair colors and skin colors. However, unlike the Chicago store, they did have Truly Me number 58 on display. However, they had a little sign saying that she was unavailable. And then right next to all of the dolls, they show off the dolls and their accessories so that you know what it'll look like. And then here's a look at the beautiful chandelier up on the ceiling, as well as the 35th anniversary display right below it. Next to the 35th anniversary display, they had some other items that they just released to celebrate their birthday, such as the new cafe set for the Truly Me dolls, as well as some other items for Bitty Babies and Welly Wishers. And now, hands down, this was my favorite display in the New York store. I really wish that they had this display in the Chicago store. It was all of the original historical dolls in their original meat outfits. And I looked really close at these dolls, and some of these seem to be really early editions of the dolls. Like the Kit doll here, she seems to be around the time that they actually released Kit. I thought it was so cool and nostalgic to be able to see these dolls in their original meat outfits in the store again. And like I said, I wish that they had this display at every single store because it was so cool to be able to look at them. And now we have almost made it to the other end of the store where they have another entrance in, and that was the entrance that I actually entered from last year. But to the right of the entrance, there is the doll hospital, and it looks very similar to how it looked before. They have all the different sections that you can bring your doll to get a checkup, and then they also have all of the healthcare related items here as well. Of course, it's always fun to look at this display here of the ambulance. I really wish that American Girl did sell an ambulance. I think it would be so cute. I also love these little EMT outfits as well. I hope that one day maybe they'll sell them. And now going towards the left when you walk in, there were these displays here as well, showing some of the other items in the Truly Me collection that we didn't see before, such as the cars and the shoe tower. And then, of course, how could you forget the World Traveler collection? They had that on display as well as the airplane and the flight attendant and pilot outfits as well. They also had this other little display of the mix and match collection. And now we are in line by the checkout area, and they have these little displays here of other miscellaneous Truly Me items like pajamas and sleepover sets and things like that. Also in this area, we have the doll hair salon as well as the girl hair salon. And of course, they have all of the pampering spa stuff next to that, such as the bubble bath and the doll hairstyling chairs as well. And then surprisingly as well, they had old mix and match items on display. So they had the Cute at Heart collection as well as the fitness collection as well. And both of these collections were on sale over here. It was nice to see that they still had these items on display if you wanted to grab them and buy them. And then one of the final Truly Me displays was this cute little one that had to do with school. So they had school desks and school lockers. And then right next to that, they had the check-in section for the doll hair salon, where you can get your hair done or you can get your doll's hair done. And here is the entrance to the salon as well. It was actually kind of busy when I was going there, so I couldn't get too much footage of the area. And now we are back over by the escalators that we saw earlier by the Courtney items, where they have a small little bitty baby section. Then next to that, they have this very deceiving section that has the New York Skyline, and it says New York City favorites. And honestly, every time I come here, I expect them to have the New York store shirt on display here, but they never do. It's always in the basement for some reason. I feel like it would make so much more sense if they just had that on display over here, since it does have to do with New York City, and it is the New York City shirt. So now we went ahead and took the escalators downstairs, where they have the whole downstairs floor basically dedicated to the historical characters. Along with the historical characters, they have this awesome display showing off all of the Girl of the Year dolls throughout the years. So they have every single Girl of the Year doll in their original meet outfit and their original hairstyles as well. And then below that, they have some of the movies that they have still available. And then also over here, they have this awesome timeline wall where they show how all the historical characters fit in different time periods in history. And now to the left of all of that, we are getting into the individual historical collections. So here is a little bit of Melody's collection. And then next to that, they had what was left of Josefina, Samantha, Kit, and Addie's collections, which honestly is pretty sad that they don't really have anything for these dolls. And then they had the mini dolls on display as well. And now here was another display for Julie. Once again, they had all of her items on display, and then they had this little glass case display showing a condensed version of all of her items. Once again, if you saw my tour of the American Girl Place Chicago, these little condensed displays should look pretty familiar because they did take the displays from New York and basically bring them over to Chicago. Then the historical characters each had this little nook that had some real life sized items that had to do with their collection. So they had another egg chair for Julie, and then they had this little fake recording booth for Melody. I really thought it was cool how they displayed Mary Ellen's Seaside Diner. I really appreciated how they showed off all of the individual accessories that came in the set. So then also downstairs, they had another checkout area, and this is where you can actually get the American Girl Place New York t-shirts. And then they also had some other miscellaneous items down here as well. And then tucked away in this little corner in the way back of the basement, they had a section for the Bitty Babies as well as the Welly Wishers. And then the Welly Wisher section has this long hallway that loops all the way back to the escalators to bring you back upstairs. If you take a right from the escalators, they have this little Team USA display all set up showing off all the different items of the Olympic collection that they have. They also have some other miscellaneous Truly Me displays down here as well. And then they have this little nook showing off some of the books that they have, as well as some of their videos. You can see, similarly to the Chicago store, they have some books on display here that they no longer sell on the website, so that's why it's always beneficial if you're looking for books to be able to go to a store to buy them. And then we have the American Girl Place New York Cafe, which was currently closed when I went to go there. Next to the cafe, they have this other long hallway, which leads to this really cool book nook. And it has a bunch of seats to go ahead and sit where you can just relax and read a couple of books if you want to. It's a really cool hidden little place in the store, and honestly, it's probably one of my favorite spots in the New York store. And then before we head on back upstairs, I wanted to go ahead and show you a map of the store, just in case you guys were confused as I was walking around. Hopefully the map will allow you to be able to visualize where we were walking the entire time. And then on our way out, we went out the other exit of the store, and I wanted to show you guys the window displays there. So I guess that is it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to leave this video a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon so you'll be notified every single time that I upload. And be sure to comment down below what you thought of the American Girl Place New York. What was your favorite section in the store? Besides the book nook, I was very excited to see the historical characters in their original meat outfits. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram. It is _BiggestAGFanEVer_. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.